All right, all right, all right. I think we are good to go. We are live. This is we're good to go. All right. What's going on, everybody? I'm letting everybody come on in. What's my comments there? I'll do that.
Unplug that mic. Can you see that one? Unplug that mic on there. Unplug that mic. Can you see?
It's turned off.
No, 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 that one. Can you see that clip? It might be.
Hold on.
Yeah, this might be able to touch the video. You might be able to use that mic.
For what? I just couldn't hear her though. Remember?
No, wait, just wait. It's a microphone.
What's up, everybody? Podcast, life, love, relationships, and all that other SHI. Hello, hello. How's everybody doing? If you would, please do me a huge favor. If you would, go to YouTube Live, Ages and Stages Podcast on YouTube. Go to the YouTube channel, and we're live there right now. Shout out to all my people on the YouTube channel. I see you. How's everybody doing? We're going to get started in just a few minutes. Thank everybody for checking in. Hey, what's going on? How's everybody? Hello, hello. Please do me a favor. Go to the YouTube channel, Ages and Stages. We are live right now on YouTube, Ages and Stages Podcast, right now. So I'm going to be looking up at this camera at all my people on YouTube. What's up, baby? How's everybody out there? Y'all let me know if y'all have any problems with sound. All right, let's just go.
Okay, ignore.
Yeah. All right, YouTube. Can everybody hear me? Hello. Okay, there we go. Lynn. Thank you, Lynn. Okay. Hello, everybody. It's Monday. It's Ages and Stages Podcast, life, love, relationships, and all that other. Welcome. I'm Rashid, your host, to another Monday. I am back at Sleep Chocolatier here in Houston, Texas, on Westheimer Drive, right down the street from the Galleria. Hope everybody's being safe out there. Thank y'all for tuning in. And yes, we are in Houston. We are finally back in civilization. The ice has melted, and everybody's in the recovery process. And everybody, it's kind of almost feels like one of those times, like in Houston, we're used to recovering from hurricanes and tornado damage. This is the first time we've ever had to recover from ice damage. And a lot of you guys have reached out to me and asked how the welfare of me and my family. I really appreciate y'all for asking and checking on me. I'll give you a quick story. For whatever reason, I don't know, I got some blessing banks up there in God, in heaven, that I didn't lose power, not one bit. I didn't lose power. I maybe lost water for maybe 12 hours. So we were extremely blessed. I had to go get my mom and my son because their power was coming in and out. My mom lost power for 4 days, and her house is right now, it's in shambles. Tons of busted pipes. So we're working on trying to get that fixed. We got plumbers and all this stuff coming out. So as you can expect, it's a mess. We don't know how to handle ice and cold down here in Houston, but thank God that everybody's safe and everybody was able to come to my house. And I thank the Lord up above for protecting me and my family and giving us that the welfare and looking over us. But at the same time, some people weren't as fortunate. So my heart goes out to all of you guys there in Houston and in the South, Dallas, and other surrounding areas that had and were impacted by the ice storm and things of that nature. So you're in my prayers, and I'll continue to post. I think I posted the other day water availability spots here in Houston that you can get water. So stay tuned on that, and you can look on various news sites so you guys can keep abreast of what's going on in Houston. But I thank you for all the love and the shout out and all that good stuff. So y'all can hear me? Good. All right. So let's get into it. Ages and Stages Podcast, life, love, relationships, and all that other. So since we were last week, I had Kelfani on last week. I thought it was a great dynamic conversation. And tonight I'm going to have Miss Simone Redwine, the one and only Miss Simone Redwine from Ready to Love Season 3 Last Resort, my castmate. She's going to be joining us in a minute. But this podcast is designed just to continue the conversation, guys. We're going to continue the conversation, ages and stages. We're all grown here. We're going to talk about a number of different topics: love, life, relationships, finances, business, entrepreneurship. How do we try to get to that next level? Children, the whole 9 yards. So again, I appreciate you guys. I'm no professional at this. We're just going to keep the conversation going and have a little fun. So I appreciate you guys. So there was a couple questions that were sent in for me specifically. So I'll go ahead and get started with some of those as Miss Simone, whatever remote location she's tuning in from, she can join us here shortly. But let's go ahead and get into it. I got some questions from some ladies who asked something specifically to me. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, one question is, this is from Anonymous. Do men get put off easily when women are overly aggressive in pursuing them? That is a great, great question. So I will tell you, Ali, only from my standpoint, in my experience, it's a fine line with that. Because if you're too aggressive, I think women, y'all can relate to this. If a guy is too aggressive, it turns you off. Well, men, we're the same way. If a woman is too aggressive, it will turn us off. That is a great question. But at the same time, we want to see some level of aggression towards us, because I said this many times before. We're taught to be hunters. We're taught to go out there, and we're taught to be okay with rejection. But a lot of us, we don't like it. No one likes rejection. So we don't want to feel that we're throwing our pole in an empty lake. If that makes sense, we want to know that that fish that we're after, that you're biting to a certain extent. So we want a little tug on our line to know, okay, she's interested. She calls, she reaches out. But to be too aggressive, you put the full court press on guys, and I think anybody in general, that'll just kind of back people off a little bit, because there is some level of the pursue, the chase, and that's what we're designed to do as men. So we do value that, and we do want that. But at the same time, if we feel that we are pursuing a young lady who's not giving us any type of feedback or any type of reciprocation of the feelings, then it becomes it's a fine line. It's tough, because if the only time I'm reaching out to you, or the only time we're talking is when I'm reaching out, you never reach out at all. Never send a phone call. Never a text. No, nothing. Not even a filler text. Hey, how's your day going? Boom. Because you never know, ladies. That might kick that guy into gear. It's like, okay, boom. She's thinking about me. Just random during her lunch day, or at 3:00. That 3:30 feeling. Just something from a guy's standpoint. We want to hear that. But if you're too aggressive, yes, that definitely will turn a lot of guys off. I know that would turn me off, but at the same time, it would turn me off as well if you're not showing any level of the reciprocation of, like, hey, we're pursuing each other. Show me a little something, and then we'll take it on from there. So that's a great question. Let's see. What are we seeing? Is anyone else seeing the split screen? Haha. Huh? Okay. What are y'all seeing? Okay, Simone's about to come in just a minute. Problem getting to the podcast? Not yet, Simone. She's coming. She's doing her hair and makeup. We can't see her in the screen, right? Oh, you can? Oh, hold on.
You don't see your screen switch? Just pop up.
No, I thought I put her in the waiting room. I told y'all I'm no professional at this.
What if she's on? Okay, she's on quiet.
Yeah, because I have her muted. I thought I put her in the waiting room too. Y'all bear with me, y'all. All right, well, we'll just let Simone keep putting on her makeup. I'm sorry. You can join us whenever you want to. I'm still working on it. Let me unmute you.
No, you're on first.
Okay. Simone, can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly well.
Hey, what's going on? How are you?
I'm good, guys. I'm happy and in Cancun, Mexico.
Right, we're going to talk
With
about that.
my
Hold that thought. We're going to talk about that real soon, because I want to get into that.
Okay.
Okay, there we go.
Make sure
I
you're
can
good.
see you now. All
You
right,
see me
there's.
good? I want to make sure I can see you, sir. Rashid, right now, the camera's just on me. So you might want to do a split screen with you on one side and me on the other.
It's not on split? Okay, hold on. How about now? Nope. I don't. Y'all don't see me. What did I do?
Not yet. Not yet.
Click. How'd you do it last time?
What was it?
Oh. Yeah, I'm the only one on the screen. Let's fix that. I think people want to look at you, Rashid, not me. I'm pretty sure of it.
That's that's yours.
That's yours. I'm watching.
Come on, man. Abner. What the hell?
Oh, there it
Okay,
is.
there we go. All right,
You got it.
we Gucci.
Okay. So there we go.
All right. How are you, Miss Lady?
I'm good. I'm
You doing
sunburned.
good? So let's get into it. Let's jump right into it. Where are you at right now?
Cancun.
Cancun, Texas?
Yes.
I don't think so. I think our viewers are a lot smarter than that.
Wait. What was the question?
I said
Cancun, and then what did you ask?
I said I don't think so. I said, is that Cancun, Texas?
Oh yeah, no. There's a Cancun, Texas. Nah, I would have no parts of that. No, I came out here for electricity, water, and vitamin D. The vitamin.
Oh, the
Not the
vitamin.
body part.
I got you. All right, let's
Yes.
people see you here. You're on the live. All right.
The vitamin, not the body part.
Oh, okay, really? All right. So tell us why did you go to Cancun? Tell me about that. Why did you end up going to Cancun? Everybody kind of knows, but fill everybody in. Let's talk about it. Give us a
Because
story.
what had happened was, so my house lost power, I don't know, maybe around 2 a.m. that like Sunday, like Valentine's Day going into Monday, right?
Mhm.
I woke up freezing cold. So I was like, and I live with my homegirl. I live in her house because I just moved to Texas. I mean to Houston. And I was like, I think our power's out. And she was like, yeah. So hours had gone by, still with no power. And by noon, I was like, F this, can't handle it.
Right.
So by noon, I basically got a hotel room. I spent one day in a hotel room. And then the next day, that hotel room, not only did it lose water, but there were no other hotel rooms available in the city. I tried to book another one. I booked the other one. I was confirmed. I waited hours in line to check in, only for them to tell me they gave my room away to people with higher status than me. And then I just,
higher status than you?
You wouldn't be surprised. I just started crying and I was like, F this shit. Oh, sorry, F this stuff. And I heard Baby Jesus in my ear, and Baby Jesus was like, Southwest Airlines. I looked, there was a flight to Mexico for $100. The hotel room that had no water was almost $300. So I was like, oh, Jesus wants me to take my talents to Mexico. So I boarded that flight on Thursday, and I have been here ever since.
Wow. Okay, that's an interesting story. So you were without power for quite a while, right? And then you decided to go to a hotel, right, with power and water, and it was a whole
power and water. Yeah.
Right. So your
I
first
needed
night,
to wash my butt.
right? So the first night you were good. Is that what the first night were you good?
None of the nights was I
None
good.
of it.
Nope.
Okay.
So I had not been good since Sunday.
Okay.
By Thursday, I was at my wit's end. Right.
Okay. So today's Monday. Now you still in Cancun,
Oh.
right?
Well, yeah. I have no reason to go there.
I'm just that's a question. So
Good question. I have Zoom court tomorrow.
Okay.
So tomorrow I have a Zoom court. I have some client consultations. Basically, all of my work is via Zoom.
Okay.
So
yeah, I heard that.
I'll be back.
So a lot of you attorneys not gonna want to go back in the courtroom. Like y'all have been spoiled. Like everybody I know loves the Zoom. Y'all can put half your clothes on, don't have to go to the courtroom. Like y'all living y'all's best life with the Zoom.
The courthouse is like the nastiest, germiest place in America. But you have to think about it. We got all these criminals. What are criminals? Where they live in jail on top of each other. I don't want no part of that. Look, I told my judge, I said, ma'am, I'm not going to be in New York. I didn't say finna, obviously, but I was like, Your Honor, I don't feel comfortable coming into a courtroom until the governor comes into the governor's office. The governor's office is still closed.
Good point.
So,
great point. All right, so let's get into this. All right, so
let's get into it.
All right, so let's talk about this. So obviously we follow each other, and I saw you in Cancun, and a lot of people think you were just going to go have, because everybody sees you travel. We all know you're a traveler, and that's kind of your thing. But from what I saw on your page, people were kind of lashing out and giving you slack because they felt that you were just going on a leisurely trip and you were putting it in their face. And you know, some people thought that was insensitive. So explain, like, because I know sometimes people just want to judge from the outside looking in, from their own perspective. You just kind of laid down some of the stuff right there. Like, it was cheaper for you to go to Cancun versus what you were doing there.
At the end of the day, that's what I want people to understand. Like, literally, it was cheaper to go to Cancun because by being in Cancun and all inclusive, I didn't have to stand in line for a grocery store. I didn't have to, wait hours for some Domino's pizza. It includes all of those things. And guess what? I want everyone to know now, if you had to do what I did, which is get hotels and stuff, FEMA is reimbursing people. That's right. FEMA is reimbursing you. Now, I'm not going to send FEMA my Cancun hotel room because I feel like that money should be used for someone else. But hypothetically, for the Ted Cruzes of the world, that could work. Also, my granny taught me real fast, quick, and in a hurry. My New Orleans granny, she said, let me tell you something. You need to look at what rich folks do. She said rich white folks, because those are rich. She said, look at what rich folks do. Don't listen to what they say. Yeah. So the minute I saw Ted Cruz going to Cancun, I said, you know what? Let me take my talents because he knows something.
So were y'all on the same island? Did you see him?
No, I didn't see him.
Right.
But by him coming, it's because he knew this stuff was going to last for a minute. Yeah. He knew something we didn't know. And in fact, he was part of the negotiations with the electric company and all that other stuff. So that's that.
Yeah, of course. That's all. It got very politicized, and rightfully so. I think there's going to be a lot of changes coming. A lot of heads are going to roll. But right now, you're seeing, as normal, everybody's pointing fingers one way or another. So hopefully we get it corrected because we looked real bad. How is Texas and mainly Houston the energy capital of the U.S. and maybe the world with no energy? That doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. It's greed and corruption. Yeah. So and I was so happy to hear that you kept your power, you kept your water, you kept all of those things.
But you know what? I'll be honest with you.
About your family.
It's almost like you hear people that it's not this extreme. So I don't want to engage in hyperbole, but at the same time, you hear people that should have gotten in a car, should have gotten in something, and something bad to those people happened, and you have like survivor's remorse. I kind of had a little bit of that because I saw my city was like hurting so bad, and I was like, dang, like I was maybe only 25% of the whole 7 million people in Houston who had power. Right. So I felt so bad, like I felt bad, like I was like, man, I know my power gonna come out. It was tough. It was tough.
Said, I see a comment. Someone was like, "Oh, you should move in silence." But I think what's really important to understand is a lot of times people don't exercise their options because they don't know that they have them. Yeah. There were a lot of people I knew of who didn't know planes were even flying.
Yeah.
It would have been less expensive for them to take a plane and maybe go to Dallas or go to Tennessee or go out of town. Right. And so for me, a portion of everything I do is about educating people on their opportunities. But also, when you talk about moving in silence, I give in silence. So, yeah, I might be on a bikini and posting a picture, but first of all, I'm cute, so that's cool. Second of all, there's like 10 million hate pages for me. So you are welcome to contribute there if you have something to say. But more importantly, I give in private. I give to churches and I give to people.
Right.
I don't personally. I love the Black Cross. Lee Merritt, one of my former law office and suite mates, he's got the Red Cross, he's got the Black Cross, and there are organizations like that and so forth. But yeah, right. I get it.
Got you. Okay, well, good. Well, I'm glad you're safe and you'll be coming back soon. All right, so let's get into it. Let's get into the deep stuff now. All right, we got Miss Simone Redwine Jonas on the Agent Station podcast. We're broadcasting live here at Sleek Chocolatier here in Houston, Texas. You guys are welcome to join us in studio live every Monday from 8 to 9. So let's get into the juicy stuff, Miss Simone. You ready? I know you're ready. You're always ready. You stay ready. All right. So this first question is to you specifically. After the show, after the show, did Simone go to or seek counseling for your daddy issues?
It's not funny, but it's so ridiculous. I can't help but giggle. The answer is yes, I've always done that. And Daddy and I actually have the best counselor. So we do daddy-daughter counseling. I think our reference that.
That's dope.
And we had the best counselor. I giggle only because he was great until he went to prison. Unfortunately, he's doing a prison bid and he's got like 8 years.
Okay.
So as a result of that, we had to switch it up and go to someone else. But yes, we certainly do counseling. Daddy and I together, and then I go separate. Great question.
I love that. That's dope. That's dope. That's dope. Okay, let's go rapid fire. Okay. All right. So this was from a young lady named Kimberly. She was in a group of friends. They're having conversations about being a supportive helpmate to their man or their spouse, right? And obviously, I'm sure that conversation had different viewpoints. Okay, so how do you feel as far as being a helpmate? Do you step in from the caring and sharing part of it, emotional strength and stability? Are you jumping in and helping them? Can you be a sounding board? How do you feel your responsibility from your perspective as a helpmate to your husband or a boyfriend? Or do you even believe in that?
I think like if you're not a helpmate, what are you? Like a friend with benefits, right? That's kind of how it works. One of my favorite things to do, my mom always said, you should anticipate your man's needs. And so that's one of the things that I do, almost kind of like, it's like a fun little thing when I'm like truly into a guy, right? And we're dating. And I'll never forget, I had a situation where I was in Vegas actually, and I'm waiting for my girlfriends to get ready. And the guy that I'm dating, he had a ring with his boys. And he was in the shower. He laid his clothes out on the table. I started ironing his pants. When he comes out of the shower, he's like, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm ironing your pants. He was like, really? I was like, yeah, this is what you're going to wear. Like, I thought I made a mistake. Like, I was like, you're not going to wear this? He was like, no. And then for the rest of the night, he kept telling his boys, man, she ironed my pants. So yeah, I feel like it's really important. Like if you, when you'll realize you're really in sync when you're able to anticipate his needs and fulfill them before he even knows he needs you to do so.
Okay, that's cool. That sounds all cool. You gave me the nice, cute girl, PC answer. That's not like this. Okay, but what if being a helpmate and he's doing some stuff that you don't agree with? Like, let's say he's a master. He's a jack of all trades, master of none, and he's trying five, 6 different professions. He's trying to get on. He's trying to do this, that, and the third. You're trying to be supportive. So let's go down. If it's been a little negative and it's not working in your favor, or you're not liking what he's doing, what type of helpmate are you at that point?
So at the end of the day, for me, when I date someone, it's all about, it's about their logic. Do they have good decision-making skills? If he's a jack of all trades, master of none, sounds to me like he got too many hands in the fire and he ain't good at nothing. And if you're not wise at anything, yeah. But what I've generally done in the past, like I'll express my concerns or whatever with love. And then also like if he wants to go to the right and I want to go to the left. I've had a relationship, every relationship is different, but I had one that was particularly successful where I was like, all right, how badly, babe, do you want to go to the right? And if he, out of 1 to 10, and if he's like, this is a 10 for me, then we go on to the right.
Right.
Even though I know good and gosh darn well the right is wrong. And I'm going to just shut up. Because what I've learned is when he makes the call and it's a bad call, he remembers and learns that lesson and begins to trust me more. So I will shut the heck up. We both go to the right. The right leads us, to a funeral parlor, and we try to go to this chicken shack, whatever. But then I don't have a problem with him no more.
Right. But at the
So
same time,
part of it is learning to trust each other.
okay, I love that. At the same time, though, if it continues, then the guy, if he's smart enough, he's like, okay, she just let me hang myself. You just let me go down this road and let me hang myself, and you trying to punish me or teach me by rapid fire. At the same time, a guy's gonna eventually, you would think, he's gonna figure that out. But I think what you're saying is he should learn from that by figuring that out.
Correct.
Right.
He learns to trust me. Like, it's like my mannerisms and this and that. Like, I'll be like, which way do you want to go? And I'll be like, I don't agree. I was like, I really think we should go to the left.
Right.
And eventually he'll be like, all right, you think we should go to the left? All right, let's go to the left.
Right.
It's just a way. But the thing of it is, at the end of the day, you have to really pick your battles.
I understand. No, I agree. And something that my coach told me in college is that rings true to me now. And I tell that to kids when I was coaching. I tell that to my peers. Know your own personnel. Like know what you're good at, your strengths and weaknesses. And I will answer that question as well as far as the helpmate. Of course, every man wants a partner that's passionate in what he does and has his back. I think a real man, though, would also want someone who can hold him accountable at the same time, but not be an "I told you so" type person, because there's a difference. There's a difference in "I told you so," and guys, we hate that.
Especially leaders, in my experience, when they're usually harder on themselves than you could ever be. So if he like
100%.
goes to the right and it gets you the wrong way, you just rub his back and be like, it's all right, baby. We got it for next time. You don't have to harp. I told you. Like, that's usually not necessary, in my experience.
Right. I got you. Another thing I would add to that would be as far as knowing your own personnel, knowing your strengths with it, and that's part of the communication side of it. Because in a relationship, you got to know who's good at what. If you're not good at directions, well, let's acknowledge that and let the other person handle the direction side of it. That might be small, but small things turn into big things. So I think it should very, very important that we have the communication and knowing what you're good at and what the other person's good at, and know their triggers. Because I'll say this all the time. No, women, I don't know if you know the power you have, but I'm going to tell you, nobody on planet Earth can hurt a man like a woman. Period. Point blank. Because y'all know what affects us. Y'all know what our insecurities are, and y'all know how to press those buttons if you want to. Not saying every woman does, but women know the power that you can affect a man harder than anything that we see or go through out in the world. Like, no one can hurt a man like a woman, and I would tell that. Most guys would agree with that. So with that being said, when stuff like that happens in a helpmate, you're supposed to help that person and get them through it, but also tell them some of the perils that may be coming up, but don't hold it against them and don't hang it over their head or I told you so. And I think that's from both sides.
Agreed.
Yeah. Okay, they're saying something's going on with my, everybody can't lead. Somebody said everybody can't lead me. That's fact. Let me, y'all bear with me 1 second. Something's going on with my camera. Come on. I need to press what? This one?
Yeah.
Then it doesn't go to split.
And then go back to how you did the split. And then turn off that.
Boom. Nope. Boom. Boom. So now it's split with that one. Okay, hold on. This way. Bam. All right. We're in the building. All right. We good? We good?
Yes.
All right. Okay. Sorry, y'all. So next question. Okay, this is a good one. So this is for both of us. So how do you feel? How do you feel about your woke friends? Like your woke friends. Like, are you just as woke as them, or are you not as woke? Or do you think is it annoying for your woke friends, or do you think it's cap for the gram for your woke friends? Tell me, kind of, have you been in that situation with your woke friends? Or are you one of the woke friends? Kind of, let's talk about in the current society that we're in. We got a lot of woke people out there.
Hella militant. And what is it about the light-skinned friend? Like, the light-skinned friend sometimes be like the most militant. I was militant.
Yeah, it is funny. The light-skinned ones be the most militant.
As
Hey,
a light skinned person, are you like one of the most militant in your
right.
crew?
Hey, let's not get into colorism.
No.
I'm just playing.
Oh, please.
I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
But I've always been very woke in that, like, for example, when I was a kid, I used to get mad at my mom because I thought I was dark skinned and I thought she was light skinned, and we had issues there. When
Yeah.
I was like a little kid, I thought, more specifically, I thought I was Rudy on the Cosby Show. Like I thought we
Oh
were
wow.
twins.
Okay.
Yeah, I did. And then my mom just always taught me like, um, when God created the black woman, He was showing off. Like He was like,
Hey, I like that.
congratulations.
Ooh, bars.
Oh, you made
Who said that? Your mama?
t-shirt. My mama.
So wait. Say
My
that again. Run that back. Repeat that.
like straight Creole,
Wait, come on.
straight out New Orleans, green
Say that again.
eyes.
Say that one more time. I think there's a
Huh?
delay. What's your mama say? Say that one more
Okay.
time.
I said, my mom, she used to make me wear a t-shirt. When I started going to school with white kids, I didn't go to white school until fourth grade, and I had all kind of issues. They used to treat me terrible. She made me wear, not made me, but gave me a t-shirt that said, when God created the black woman, He was just showing off. I used to wear that bad boy to school all the time with my biking
Facts.
shorts.
Facts. I like that.
So yeah, fast forward to high school. I went to a Catholic high school. It was called the African American Awareness Club. 22 years later, it still exists. What
Okay.
are we on? 21 years later, it still exists. And then I was vice president of my college's Black Action Society, which
All
was our
right.
Black student government.
Okay.
So
So you
I'm
woke woke.
probably the most militant of my friends.
Right.
My auntie started the Deltas at Xavier University,
Okay.
and she was threatened. They tried to put her out of school initially for starting the Delta chapter. So I'm just used to like being militant and like I wish you would. So yeah,
Okay.
I'm the one.
You're the one. Okay. Me so much. I'm kind of in the middle. My dad was super militant, so I had that kind of background, those teachings and those experiences. But me, I'm kind of I'm in the middle. I follow. You know, obviously, I'm passionate about my heritage and our people's plight in this current society we live in. But I like to hear from people that are more educated because I'm a listener. I absorb a lot of things. I'm kind of a researcher, and I want to hear perspectives for those people who I feel have a higher level of experience and knowledge about. That's more so kind of like I said, knowing my own strengths and weaknesses. So like a good frat brother of mine is Don Calloway, who's a lobbyist and a politician who's on MSNBC and Fox 26. So we're in a group chat. So anytime I have some questions, I'll hit him up. And a lot of other my line brothers and frat brothers are way more woke than me, and I love to hear other people's perspective who have knowledge on a certain topic. But do I think
And
sometimes right now,
like,
huh?
mm,
I think
no, go
sometimes
ahead, go
right
ahead.
now, I think it's cool also, a little cool to be woke on Instagram. I think those works can be done behind the scenes. I'm not saying people that don't. I'm just saying I don't necessarily know anybody personally, but obviously I don't think in any aspect people on social media is always 100% genuine. That's just my perspective.
Yeah. No, I agree. We got a little bit delayed, but I'm gonna say I realized like it really awake my freshman year of college really further awakened my militancy because I remember I was like the president of our student class, and we were doing interviews for I guess or maybe it was my sophomore year, whatever, interviews for the next group of kids coming in. And it was this girl, she was Black, and she was 10 times more qualified than me and anybody else that applied, but they didn't give her the job because they said she was, quote, they felt she was too aggressive
Mm.
and that she would be too abrasive. She was tall, she was a very curvy girl, etc. And I think what it taught me is that because my look is so unintimidating, I realized I had privilege from that. And I use that sucker. I knew I could go in the provost office and I could get something that another Black woman couldn't get
So you knew
just
that.
because I looked at her different. So baby,
So
I used to use it. to
So how
get
did that make you
networking with.
feel
We had
though?
a budget in my college of 85,000,
Let me ask you, how did
and
that
I
make
was
you feel?
networking with some people.
Knowing that, knowing the power that you had, because that wasn't necessarily your fault. Now you knew the advantages you had with that. How did that make you feel? Because you were cognizant of the fact that you were able to get away with that than
Disgusted.
other. How did that make you
I was
feel?
so ready to flip the table. I'm very ignorant. I was ready to flip the table, but I was like, wait, I can't, because that's what they expect of us. Oh, so we're about to flip this. So what I did was I used my mind. I siphoned all their freaking money from them. So it was student government. That was the white student government.
Right.
So I think I siphoned about 25,000. I took 25,000 from them and had it reallocated to Black student services. And
Okay.
then it went from there. So we had more scholarship money, more than I was like, y'all not about to play with me.
I love that. I love that. I love that. I love that. Okay, let's move on. What is a major lesson that you learned from Ready to Love, and what what what's the pros and cons, and what's a major lesson you've learned post filming of Ready to Love?
Oh, definitely major lesson is trust my intuition. My intuition. Let me go over. There we go. This camera's weird. Okay. Trust my intuition. I've come to realize my intuition has never been wrong. I may not understand why my intuition is telling me that something isn't a good fit for me, X, Y, or Z. But when I listen to it, it always works itself out. I also realized, like, dang, I'm like so much doper than even I probably like acknowledged before.
Uh-huh.
And I say that because I realize, like, I really got to work on forgiving myself. It's okay to make mistakes, but I got to
Yeah,
work
for
on
sure.
forgiving myself for those. And I tease when I say that, I was like, damn, I think I'm going to have a chemical imbalance. I've never been that emotional in my life, but there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
But I think the most important is realizing, like, keep trusting yourself, and that, like, the fundamental values that I'm looking for in a man is, I feel like it's right on par. Some of the superficial stuff, like whatever the stupid stuff. Like, I want him to be like a good dresser like you or whatever. Like that stuff I can work on. But the
Yeah, you can
fundamental,
fix that. You can fix
I
that.
feel like,
You can take him shopping.
yeah,
So
the fundamental.
that's what's up. Somebody just said they like the fact that we don't talk Ready to Love. Like, I think we've all talked about Ready to Love ad nauseum. Like, we'll bring up
Yeah.
a few little things of Ready to Love, but this podcast is ages and stages, life, love, relationships, and all the other. So we're gonna talk about way more than that. But I'll answer that question as well. Something that I learned from Ready to Love is just trust yourself. Trust in being yourself. Like, because your true, authentic self is gonna play out eventually, and they can only show what you give them, right? And then, yeah, in the beginning, like I said this before, in the beginning, like, we all read the blogs, we all read the comments on YouTube and Twitter and our IG page. Like, in the beginning, I was a goofy, cornball, pretentious, narcissistic, this whole, like, and I was like, and it was like, you know what? And I was like, none of that is me. But I'm glad I just owned it and just I was myself. Now, granted, this was I had already filmed everything, but I went into the situation knowing, hey, I'm not going to be anybody other than Rashid. And yes, I am goofy, silly, and corny. Absolutely. And I will be always. I'm no
Yeah.
narcissist. I'm not pretentious, but I knew that would play itself out, and eventually it did. And pros
Yeah.
and cons of that is kind of similar, because the pros is, obviously we get a new platform. That's the pros, and we get to meet great, amazing new people. And some of the cons are people
Yeah.
will take clips of you and then try to decide who your character is and who they think that they know who you to be. So that's kind of a con, I would say.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Um,
What?
the pros. Uh, I guess, yeah, I guess I have a broader platform to educate people on the things that actually matter to me and that I enjoy, such as like the law and legal options, opportunities, just self-help stuff. That's super fun to me.
Yeah, you're
Um,
doing a lot of that too. You're trying to help
yeah,
people
thank you.
with
I
a
love
lot of
that.
things. Yeah.
The cons, there were a lot. I don't want to mention them all because I don't want to discourage anyone
Yeah.
who's thinking of doing it
Right.
in the future. But I also had to recognize I have always been told I'm a producer's dream. And I finally asked somebody, like, what the hell does that mean? And they were like, because they can make you into whatever is entertaining.
Yes.
Some people don't know this about me, but I do stand-up comedy. I'm a lawyer. I'm Ivy League educated. I'm these things. So there
Run it,
are
run it, run it,
multiple
run it.
facets. No, I'm not saying it like being arrogant, but I'm saying there's different facets of me. So depending on what you choose to edit is who I could be. I could be the funny girl. I could be the intellectual. I could be a jerk. I am all of those things.
Right.
So yeah,
I like that.
that was interesting.
Okay. So I think this one, because I've seen a lot of things that you talked about, a lot of your interviews. So I think you'll have a good answer to this one. So this one is from JM. What are some of the red flags that you can look to when online dating, as far as for you to figure out if a man is married or unavailable? Are there any red flags?
Baby, red flag. Okay, I am the queen of the app. That is, yeah.
Give it to us.
If they only want to call you on the phone during odd hours, they're probably married. Odd hours to me are, I found he wants to call me on his way to work, on his way home, from the car, on the Bluetooth. That man is married. If he only wants to link up with you in person, odd hours, like lunch or in another city,
Oh yeah.
married, that kind of thing. Boy, girl, go to my Instagram, ask Simone. I got you. I got you.
Got you. Okay, good. Those are good. All right. So along with the, in the same line from the same person. So how, as a woman that's online dating to meet someone, how do you protect yourself safety wise with all that's going on, COVID, if this guy's a stalker, catfish, all that kind of stuff? How do you protect yourself as a woman out in these streets dating in this current day and age?
Great question. I'm the queen of the background check. I am the queen, queen, queen. Now, it doesn't hurt that I have background check software, but honestly, ladies, any of us could do so. Go to benverify.com and let's just start with his first and last name.
Okay, say that
So,
website one more time for the ladies in the back.
Ben Verified. So BEEN verified.com. Okay, we'll start there. You can put his information in and his criminal record will pop up. But guess what? I also go a step further. I don't like men who lie about stuff. Who lie? Nobody does. Who does? But it's even worse when you lie about stuff you ain't got to lie about, like being a homeowner. So the second thing you can do is if he
You can
says
look
he
that
owns
up
a
so
home,
easily.
yes. What you do is you go to the appraisal district of the county he claims he lives in. If there's Harris County Appraisal District, if they're in Dallas, Dallas County Appraisal District, it's free. All you do is put in the person's last name and their first name. If that property don't come up, he a whole lot. But also, hey, you need to do that because you need to see if he does own that house, who else name on it. If it's a woman, it's probably his wife. Get out of there. I have definitely had that issue.
Wow. Wow.
Mm-mm.
So
No, no.
for me, I can't really answer
Oh,
those
one
questions.
other thing I do,
Okay.
I don't play with men who have child support arrears.
Who have
Don't come
what?
over here. That's why I need to know if you have a passport. Because half the time the issue is they can't get one. So I will also call the Attorney General's office on you, and I will give them your name. You got to give first, last, and social security number. Don't ask me how I get his social security number, but I always have it. It's part of the background check software. Nonetheless, I call downtown. And you know what, Rashid, you know why I had to do this?
Why is it?
I was dating a man who told me he had 3 children with his ex-wife.
Okay.
Things were not adding up. Lo and behold, I called the attorney general's office. Come to find out, this man had not 1, not 2, not 3 kids, but a minimum of 7, and over $125,000 in child support arrears.
Wow.
Yeah, that relationship didn't go nowhere.
Wow.
Trying to move into my house that I own, that I pay taxes on. I bet you are trying to move in here because you can't own nothing. Get out of here, son.
So you know what? I'm glad you said that. Let's segue. I'm glad you said, okay, about him having that child support debt, right? Next.
Yeah.
This is for my professional ladies out there that are listening. This includes you, okay? A lot of times, professional ladies, this is from the question. I'm reading this. A lot of times, professional ladies are put into leadership roles financially. And they said, you know, we talked about it a little bit on the show, but it's getting, this lady says, it's getting harder and harder to find financially secure men. Are you finding that same thing? And how soon do you have the conversation with this new person that you're dating? How soon do you have the financial conversation? Go.
Yes, I agree. As a single woman, it does get harder as they get older. But as far as how do I have the conversation? Great question. My mama taught me, don't make that man lie to you. What that means is don't ask questions that feed him the answer. It's no different than when I'm in court, which is called leading the witness.
Yeah, okay.
So, for example, if you ask a man, are you financially stable? He is going to lie. He's going to say, yes, I'm financially stable. My ex-boyfriend did that. This man had a rush card from Reverend Rush because Bank of America didn't even trust this man. Sir, if Bank of America doesn't trust you, then neither do I.
You said Bank of America didn't trust this man?
Yes.
Oh, man.
So, I say that to say, I think that you can watch what they do, how they carry themselves, how they maneuver, and as opposed to certain direct questions. So, for example, if it's going to be a direct question, what I talk about is, oh, do you use a 401k, a Roth IRA? What do you feel more comfortable with? Oh, boy, with the Reverend Rush card was like 401k. And I was like, I knew he was lying because he didn't have a job at the time. He was like leaving one company to go to another. To have a 401k, you have to be with a company at the time. Otherwise, it ends. So I said, oh, you used to have one. He was like, yeah, I did. He was like, but I pulled all the money out, when I moved to South. I was like, lying. So I guess what I'm saying is, I do think it's really important, just as you go naturally and you're asking, getting to know you questions. That's how I do it. I'll ask generic stuff, but don't be direct, because if you're too upfront, they know how to lie to tell you what they feel you want to hear. So look at the sign. Like, he ain't got no E-Trade. He ain't got no Roth IRA. He doesn't have any of that, and he's never owned a home. Run. And he's 45. Run. He probably can't get one. He probably got his utility bill in some woman's name.
Wow. So somebody said, yes, it's hard for professional women out here. God help us. That's hilarious. Okay, so for my men listening out here, I think we can control the narrative too in that conversation. From my perspective, I think a lot of times we're taught to go after women with the shiny objects, and what I mean by that is traditionally, women traditionally. I'm not saying this is. I'm just saying overall scope. Women like the shiny thing out there. Women are drawn to the shiny thing, the light bulb that's flashing, and sometimes guys try to send out that bat signal that way, and sometimes may lead with, I've got this, that, and the third, right? And then that's hard to keep up with over a long period of time. So what I would say to fellas out there is do what you do naturally. Don't overextend yourself, whether it be, I think it's those true for those guys with money, because I know a lot of guys who have money who try to dumb it down, try to make it look like they don't have any, right? For the most part, we hear about guys.
stupid. Why do y'all do that?
Well, you
So
know, it's
stupid.
again because that whole mindset we're taught women go after the shiny object, right? And then so we want to dim that light to see if that person really wants to get to know us for the real person. On the flip
Can
side,
we
what you hear
talk about
mostly,
that?
huh?
Can we talk about that?
Can we
How
what?
stupid that is?
Can we talk about it?
Can we talk about
Well,
how
that's what I'm
stupid
saying.
that is?
So I don't think that's a good thing. Cause so what I'm saying is, if you don't have it and act like you have it, that's the most time what we hear. That's not smart, and vice versa. I think you should be your true, authentic self with how you move, how you court a woman is going to, because you don't want to create a monster that you can't keep up with because you borrowed from Jim Joe Paul to pay Ruth Jim Jones. Like you have to stay in your at your age and your wage. And at that point, the conversation should naturally happen. But as far as guys who dumb that down, like I've thought about doing that in the past, just talking to other guys, just kind of like because you never know. From guys' perspective, we don't know if your intentions are true, and we want to get to know you first without the shiny things, and we want to give like a real, true, open uh, dialect between the two of us. But at the same time, we're not being honest. So you're not entering the relationship honest, even though we're trying to maybe
Right.
trick this person or test this person. I don't think you should test anybody, man or women, in the beginning stages because just talk and be organic, and I think that's naturally going to come out in the wash.
Right. Like, I just think, like, I have a homeboy. He's a millionaire. And he used to tell women he was a garbage truck driver. And I told him, I was like, stop doing that. You sound stupid. Also, that is not a good route to your goal. His goal was he was terrified of attracting a gold digger and that type of thing for his life. But I was like, you don't have to go to extremes because the type of woman that you do want, which is an intellectual with like a graduate degree, et cetera, if you tell her you collect garbage, she might not talk to you, not because it's not an honest living, but the assumption is you don't have a similar level of education. Maybe her education standard is at least an associate
Okay, hold
or at
on.
least a
Can I
bachelor.
stop you? Can I stop you right there?
Please.
Let's follow it. Let's stop on that right there. So that's part of. Let's talk about because a lot of people were you raised a lot of eyebrows and a lot of ears when you said we don't have a passport. This if he's not intellectually my equal. This so that can also lead to financial stability. So how do you
Yeah.
feel? Because the old folks you say evenly yoked. How do you feel about dating a man who works hard, has a good living, whatever you see to be a good living, but didn't
Mm-hmm.
graduate from college? Can you see yourself
So,
being with that type of person that didn't go to college or have a degree?
nope,
No?
nope,
Okay, please explain.
not anymore. Because I dated a plethora of men who have, and they do not treat me well, and they mistreat me. All without any exception. See, if I could be one that treated me well, I would be fine with it. My issue is that they felt the need to put me down and to consistently show me how, despite not going or finishing school, they were smarter than me or as smart as.
So that was
So
their
if somebody else
insecurities
is
coming
the
out. They
cousin
were
who
trying to
both
dumb
treat
you
me that
down.
way, I could be open to it.
Yeah.
But in my specific experience, I realized that was the issue. So, and it came from they particularly had to be like, just because you're a lawyer don't mean you know everything. You're a lawyer, you want to argue all the time. I wouldn't even be arguing. And it was their this was like three people I can think of, three different people, their specific experiences that made them do that. And then the second thing is those particular men, I felt that because they did not have the formal education, mind you, these men had more money than like the other guys that I would date on average. They always led with their money.
Right.
That always made me uncomfortable. And the minute their money started getting funny, maybe the economy, maybe they lost a job, their whole confidence would
Right.
change. And
So you're
that you see
saying
that person for them.
right. So you're saying that they're self-esteem was tied to their economics.
Right. Because basically they would frequently reiterate to me that I didn't go to college and I make 10 times more than this or that person. So the moment that money started getting funny, whether it was a man who worked in the oil industry or whatever, and oil went down, when that money got funny, their confidence went down with it. And they didn't want to be in a relationship, or they were not being kind and loving boyfriends until their money got back. But their money got back up. Oh, they want to come back over here. Don't come over here only in your good time. I'm
So
not
what you're
a fair
saying
weather
was
girlfriend.
their insecurities led them to mistreatment of you to try to make themselves feel better.
That's what I felt.
Okay, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this question is for me actually. No, let's see. Oh, okay. So now and I kind of talked about this earlier, but now with women's rights and the women's movement and girl power and things of that nature that are going on, women are being more aggressive in their pursuit of men, which I love. I'm here for the women's rights movement and empowerment of women, but at the same time, that puts you guys in a different type of hierarchy sometimes on the dating scene. So how do you feel? Because sometimes now that you're aggressive towards a man, society is going to now look at you being desperate or the pick me girl. How do you feel about that? If you want to pursue, now you're the pick me girl or desperate because you are aggressive or you know what you want and you say what you want. Do you feel that you get some of that? It's a double standard sometimes for women.
Maybe, but I'm not that girl. So what's funny is I'm not the pick me girl, but I'm also not the aggressive one. I'm glad that you've asked this question because I kind of get it frequently. Because remember, we had the situation where I went over to you and I said, I'm going to go on a date with you.
Huh?
I remember we had the situation where I came up to you and said, I want to go on a date with you. Remember?
Right.
So I frequently get the question where people are like, oh, so, they ask me about approaching men. And what I'll say is this. I feel like it has changed things. There are a lot more aggressive women out there. I'm not one of them. Instead, I'm a flirter. I will flirt my butt off. I will give you every indication that if you ask me for my phone number, you won't get rejected.
Okay.
So I put it out there and then it comes. And then that leaves the ball in his court. Why? Because I like men who are leaders. And in every situation I've been in, when I put that ball in his court, if the guy didn't respond, it was either, he wasn't interested, he had a wife, he had a girlfriend, he was gay. He always had like legitimate reasons.
Right.
He didn't like girls at all, whatever the case might be. But it was interesting to me because on the show, I somewhat stepped out of my comfort zone by asking you on a date.
Right.
But to be clear, a portion of the reason is because when you're dating on a television show, you can't just go on a date with a person that you like. It has to be structured. There has to be cameras available. Those cameras can't be covering someone else's important date, things like that. Would you agree?
Yes, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah. And then also what's most important, multiple times you and I had previously had conversations where we were like, we want to go on a date with each other, right?
Right.
So my mind never sleeps. I was like, you know what? If I ask him on camera with these cameras sitting here in our face, they have to finally do it.
Right.
So I was like, I'm about to ask this man on camera because then they're going to have to let us go on a date.
Exactly.
And it went from there.
Right.
But I just say that to say it started with a mutual interest. You had multiple times said, I'd love to take you out. Like, I want us to have a chance. Then when you said that, I was like, oh, let me like see what I can do to help.
Right.
And went from there.
Right. There you go, being a good helpmate. But no, to your point, it's very true that we don't get to structure our dates. We tell people And a lot of people ask me about the situation, right? And there's two things. Like one, I had been acknowledged that, hey, I want to take you on a date. No one ever saw that, and they weren't able to put that together. So I got the question like,
Correct.
well, if you wanted to go on a date with her, like, why didn't you ask her? So my response, remember when you asked me, I was like, I've been wanting to go on a date with you, and me and you had
Yeah.
been had talked about it, but people didn't know that. And then another thing that I thought was cool to go back to the question that was asked was, is it overly aggressive? Do you get looked at the pick me girl or the desperate girl? And like what I was saying earlier when the question was posed to me, do we like an aggressive woman or a beta woman? And I kind of like it in the middle because I want you to, we at least want to know there's something there. So like to your point, to what you did, and I said this, like you acknowledge that although we had already talked about it, you had asked me out, and then you fell back and let me be a leader or let me be the man and let me take it from there. And I think most guys in a similar age and stage would appreciate that. So
Yeah.
and so let's get into it. Let's go ahead and get into it. So everybody wants to know about that date. Everybody says that was the best date of the whole season. So from your perspective, I've already talked about the date, and I'll be happy to piggyback or talk after you. But on that date, did it stand out to you as much as it did the audience? And kind of run everybody through the date and kind of tell us what you thought about it.
Yeah, no, it definitely did. Well, so what y'all didn't know or see is Mr. Rashid wrote me a little note the evening before, and he was like, "Can you meet me at the fire wheel at like such and such time tomorrow?" And he slid it under my door. I'm so happy that I have it at home
What?
in my closet. So I was like, "Oh my gosh, he's planning this." And then I like went in my room and I was trying to pick out my outfits or like some of the stuff. I was like, "What about this? What about this?"
Oh, so you put the outfit
No,
together like the
gotta do
first day of
both.
school? Like you put the outfit together the night before?
So
That's what's up.
it was like I remember that night I got my little note under the door and it felt like Christmas Eve, like on Christmas Eve we had date with someone. I was like, mind you, I've already been on dates with other people. We're not gonna name who, but I've been on dates with other people. And they were nice. It wasn't Rashid, So
Oh,
yeah, I really enjoyed it. I had a good time.
yeah, I did too. I tell you, it was super dope. The thing about it, setting it up was cool because obviously production knew I'm a car guy. I'm in the cars, and the way I was able to kind of work with them on setting that up was super dope. And I thought it was super organic, and we were able to be like super duper open and honest with one another and transparent. And there was a lot of the conversation that they didn't show, which is cool. A lot of the stuff that we shared was personal stuff, but it was on camera. I wish they would have showed some things about we talked about briefly about more relationship stuff, about more mental health stuff, about some other obstacles that you had
For
to
sure.
overcome and stuff like that. Because I think you could be a great advocate for women for dealing with some of the things that you dealt with. And I'll let you talk about that at a later
Yeah.
time if you want to. But
Yeah, yeah.
I thought it was
Anyway,
super dope. And then obviously you're dope. You're a dope, genuine person. So it was cool. And everybody was like, they all have this perception of you. And I made this joke, and they was like, well, she never did that with Rashid. And I was like, well, I was able to tame her. I didn't see any of the, I didn't even see any of the wild Simone. So I don't know why I
yeah.
got the softer. I don't know why I got the softer Simone, but the softer Simone is super dope.
Thank you. But it's funny because that is true. That's the real Simone. It's like my mom would say, she knows who she can act up with,
Yeah,
like this, that, and third. Like, I don't act up with my mom, but I'll act up with my dad or, whatever the case may be. But you also, like, you never created situations where I had to respond in certain ways. But
right.
I really appreciated on the episode where I did get sent home. You respected everyone else's perspective, but you were like, that wasn't my experience. I didn't have that.
Right, right,
And I was
right.
like, yeah. And what I realized is that the Simone you get when I'm dating and when I'm interested in you is like no one else. Nobody else gets that Simone. It's special for you, the man I'm dating. Other people get other aspects of Simone, and I keep it that way. I kind of keep it that way for a reason.
Why is that? Because are you like, are you guarding yourself? You protecting yourself, or you're a super softy? You don't want to show the vulnerable side, or is that just how you operate and always have been? Or have you done that before and maybe sent the wrong signals to guys and had that backfire, or is that
Well,
just curious?
I used to be like a man hoarder. Uh, like when I used to live on the East Coast, I used to live in New York. I remember my mom used to be like, Mimi, don't let that man fall in love with you. And I was like, Mom, I don't have any control over that because that would happen. And she was like, yes, you do. And my mom used to have to tell me things to do to keep, and like, God, this sounds arrogant. All right. I wish you could cut that out. But I think the gist of it is I have different aspects just because it's a lot to let everyone in.
Yeah.
And I'm not for everybody. And I always understand that about myself. But also, it's just like, I don't know how to describe it, but I think primarily it's like I understand I'm not for everyone. I'm also, because I'm like, I like to joke, I'm sarcastic. I can come off in a way that isn't for everyone. Acquired taste is what I
Right.
call
I got
myself.
you.
But I think primarily it's because I had stalkers for real stalkers, like police had to call. And I used to have issues with guys that I thought we were just friends, and they would not appreciate that and want to take it elsewhere. And so
I
it
got you.
became too much at one point when I had to call cops and literally charges had to get pressed. And I think after that, I was just kind of like, everybody can't get like sweet loving Simone.
Okay.
That's for my homegirls and that's for the men I'm dating.
Got you. Okay.
And
I get
it's
it.
not that I'm mean. It's just that, like, yeah.
All right. So last question tonight. We're coming to the end. We're going a little over, but I think like people like hearing from you. So you mentioned this. You said sometimes or in the past. I don't know if you still are. You're a man hoarder. So does that mean are you a relationship girl? Do you like relationships? Do you sometimes have you gotten in relationships just for the fact of having a relationship? Do you see yourself? Do you not have to, but do you look to be, you know what I'm saying? Do you want that? And sometimes have you gotten into relationships just for relationship's sake?
Uh, Absolutely. I blame Catholicism. Because I think a part of it is like as it relates to intimacy, I don't feel comfortable being intimate with someone who's not my boyfriend.
Okay.
So there have been times when I jumped to a relationship because I was like, oh, I want to do it to him. Or
You what?
I want to go there with the relationship
Oh,
and I
okay.
feel more comfortable if he was my boyfriend. So that I think that was a component of it. But also I think more than that, I've dedicated so much time to my career and work that what was happening, I realized is they were nice guys and they would just wear me down.
Uh,
Literally, they would be so
the
kind
consistent
and
guy, the
consistent.
consistent guy that wears you
Yeah,
down.
bringing me Popeye's chicken to my office when I'm working late at 11 o'clock.
Right,
I
right.
mean, how can I not fall infatuated with you? Are your teeth crooked and a little bit yellow and mother of pearl? Yes. But you know what? You're kind, so I'm going to give you a shot. And then
See,
3, 4 months come down the line, and I realize I can't deal with your purple teeth or whatever color this is today.
but see, guys,
And
hey,
it
what
didn't
worked
work
was
out.
Popeye's chicken. You don't have to spend the money. What worked for Simone was Popeye's chicken. Y'all listening out there?
Right.
You don't always have to spend a bag.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got you. Got you. Okay, so we're gonna wrap it up here real quick. Let me see. Oh, what happened? Where'd she go? Hello. Did she leave us? Oh. The internet is let vs. Oh. Call us back, Simone. Okay, so I guess that's gonna be the end of Simone. We just got timed out. The internet won't let us be great. But we were coming to the end of our time anyway. I appreciate you guys for tuning in every Monday night from 8 to 9-ish. This is the Ages and Stages podcast. I'm your host, Rashid, and we talk about life, love, relationships, and all that other And we are at Sleep Talkative here in Houston, Texas. You are welcome to come live. And you see a lot of the questions that I asked tonight was from the audience and from fans sending in those questions. You can send in those questions right now for next Monday at the Ages and Stages email address. That's agesandstagespc, and is spelled out A-N-D, agesandstagespc for podcast at gmail.com. Where my guest next week will be the beautiful Winter, my castmate from Ready to Love. So Winter's going to join us next Monday night. So y'all tune in for that. Y'all go ahead and send y'all's question in for that. And I'd love to hear y'all's feedback on tonight's episode. And we'll see you next week with the beautiful Winter from Ready to Love Season 3. Again, I am Rashid. This is the Ages and Stages podcast, life, love, relationships, and all that other I appreciate you guys for joining me. And y'all, Simone, real quick. Hey, Simone.
Hey, so sorry.
That's okay. The internet. I was saying my goodbyes. So tell everybody what you got coming up. Tell people where to find you. Tell them what all you got coming on the horizon before we sign off.
Thank you, guys. So I started a new YouTube channel, which is called Girl, Is That Legal? Where I answer legal questions. Please subscribe to that channel. I'm going to be talking about how to get assistance from FEMA, from those who were impacted by the hurricane. Oops, looks like I'm a little frozen.
That's okay. Keep going.
Okay. And also like different legal tips. I'm doing Q&A. But you can also subscribe to my Instagram, which is Simone Redwine, my last name. And I spell Simone with a Y.
Right. I love it. So anything else?
You.
Anything else? That's all? Get it all out.
Also, I'm an injury attorney. I'm managing partner of the Houston office of Esquire Litigation Group.
Okay.
So if you're injured and you're in an accident in the states of Texas, Florida, or Georgia, please give us a call. We do free consultations. So check us out. It's a Black-owned law firm, partners in each of the states of Texas, Florida, and Georgia.
Got you. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. And again, y'all tune in and y'all check out all of our social media platforms. If you don't follow my other YouTube page, it is Car Gods, GAWDS. I will be dropping a new episode Thursday, the 2nd. I did, for those of you, thank y'all so much who saw episode number 1 with Nephew Tommy, his Rolls Royce Ghost purchase. If you haven't seen that on Car Gods YouTube, check that out. And I have a new episode coming this Thursday at 8 p.m. Central on Car Gods at YouTube. Until then, we appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys so much for joining the Ages and Stages podcast, life, love, relationships, and all that other where we just keep the conversation going. I'm no professional. We're just talking and having a good time. I appreciate you guys. We'll see you next week. Thank you so much, Simone. All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.